There we are.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello. I don't know
weird.
why I'm hearing different things in my ear. Hello. Hello. Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. She's Kim McAllister. Okay. Oh,
What's happening,
there we
Kim?
go. There we go. Okay. I fixed it. Okay. So I apologize for being late today. It is simply because I had to hear the story about Jacob's birthday. Many of you that listen to my show, Kim's show, Mark Thompson's show, we are a big family here on the Cocktails and News. I have my cocktail. If you have not heard the story of Jacob's birthday over the weekend, we are very, very glad that Kim McAllister and Jacob are all okay. But it was quite the story. And so Jacob had it. How old did Jacob turn?
11, double ones, snake
double
eyes.
ones, snake eyes. So yes, basically the long story short, Kim and Jacob had a very scary ocean experience.
Yeah.
They were almost washed away. Clothing was washed away. Kim, you did what every mother would do. I am so very glad but I needed to hear the story,
Like,
so that's why we're late.
there is no other, for just light version, which doesn't even cover the trauma of it. We got kind of pulled out to sea by some waves and pounded into the sand, and I went out to rescue Jacob, and I got pulled out. And so for those of you that have already heard it, it's a lot more dramatic than that. And there were people filming it from a platform.
It's so messed up. And I will say this, and Kim was in the ocean, and but I will say this. Hold on. I will let you tell the story again. But you were on the stairs. You see your son in the ocean.
Yeah.
There is just no thinking. There's no thinking. You go after your kid. That's it.
As a matter of fact, I don't move fast, but I moved really fast, as fast as I've moved when I was trying to get down there. I heard him yell, and he calls me Mom, but he yells, Mama. And I was like, oh, shit. And I'm running. And I run into the ocean. And the minute that happened, it just was a bad set of waves. You know what's interesting? I got a really, really, really nice email from Jennifer L. I don't know if she's here tonight right now. She is here. And here's what she said. Kim, as a former Coast Guardsman, please pass on to Jake that I hope he doesn't lose why he wanted to put his feet into Monterey Bay.
Aww.
The ocean can be scary, but water confidence can alleviate some of that some of that fear. I've served, she said, in the warm waters of Hawaii, the big waters of the Bering Sea, and the treacherous foggy waters of the Grand Banks of Newfoundland. I've even deployed the Titanic Memorial Wreath on the year after the anniversary of the sinking. The ocean, she said, is a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Jen. That's, first of all, okay, Jennifer L., you're a badass.
Yeah.
Wow.
And cool. You're a poet, talking about the ocean, by the way.
Thank you for that wonderful message. Just, it meant a lot to me. And I think that it's interesting because I was feeling so stupid for not gauging those waves better, for not maybe seeing where the break was, for not seeing the waves were getting bigger, for not paying enough attention.
Well, you've been there so many times. You just assumed it was the same
spot so many times.
Yeah.
But I've also reported on a lot of ocean deaths.
Those sneaker waves
happen. People out on the jetty. What are you doing when there's a big surf warning? People standing on the ocean when their dog gets sucked in, and they're in after the dog, and they all die together.
Yeah.
And I thought, I will never think people are stupid again, because I didn't see that coming. And I'm not, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not fresh off the boat from, the Midwest. I live in an ocean state. I've grown up around the sea. So how I didn't get that, my sister, who's a therapist, said, that's how you don't move past the trauma. When you start blaming yourself, and you start, you're replaying it in your head, and how and why, and it's my fault, and I did this, and whatever else, that's when you can't move past it, when you start developing these big fears and all of these things. So, yeah, but can you believe that? That was my trip to Monterey, this big dramatic moment.
I know. And then Kim's getting tossed in the water, but she gets her kid out. I mean, he's crawling out. She's getting tossed and turned. I mean, but again, instead of helping these people Just
filming.
get their freaking phones out.
And I'm naked. The ocean has torn my clothes from my body. And I'm not a skinny woman. So here's this big lady on the ocean in all my God-loving glory
But you know what?
being
Screw it, because
filmed.
it doesn't matter. You are getting your child. I just love you. Like,
I
I
had
mean,
the
it could.
I had the thought to myself, I am naked on the beach in Monterey and people are filming and I could care less because I'm alive.
Of course. Like, who gives a shit, right? Like,
I'm bleeding from the knees from like
I
digging my
know.
knees into the
Knees.
sand, trying to hold on to the earth to crawl. Like I am, it's this is high drama going on here. And I don't care that I'm naked, and I know it's on the internet somewhere, and people are laughing at it probably, like, looking at it, not realizing that I truly almost
No,
died. I
but
thought it
that's
was
the
the end.
problem. You're seeing this
Yeah.
woman whose son has just crawled out of the ocean.
Mhm.
She's like being tossed and turned. Her clothes are ripped from her body from the ocean. And instead of running down there,
Yeah.
helping this poor woman and child out of the ocean, you just get your fucking phone out to
Yeah.
videotape it. That's what gets me. Like,
You
help
know,
these people.
I haven't been able to find it yet, but
Well,
I've searched for every iteration of how someone
yes,
would
like
title that.
hashtag whatever, you know what I mean? Oh,
I
poor
haven't been
baby.
able to find it yet.
Well,
If
maybe
you
they feel bad, like because people get shamed for that. They get shamed, like,
Yeah,
really, you're
yeah,
videotaping this instead of
right.
helping, right? Like, I would
Yeah.
totally shame somebody for that.
Nature be wild and says Heather, people with their phones are effing annoying.
Thank you.
WTF instead of helping. I mean, I guess, and then we all would have been, sucked out to sea. I don't know, but a few minutes later,
Uh huh.
what allowed me to finally crawl out
Uh huh.
after like maybe I want to say 8 really big, powerful, pounding waves. It was calm, and I was
Mm.
able to just crawl out of the ocean. It was weird.
Yeah.
The ocean had its way with Kim. I didn't know the ocean was MAGA.
It's
Yeah,
like molesting
exactly.
you. Exactly. It's
The ocean
just,
was like, "We know you."
oh,
The ocean is
Jesus.
my friend. I'm in love with the ocean. Like,
I know.
that's my place. So,
But you just,
yeah.
it's beautiful, but it's powerful, and it's all of those things. And I'm just so happy that
Yeah.
he's okay.
Yeah. Phineas says I was heroic, but it was dangerous. I would say, Phineas, I had no choice. Your
Right.
child is getting pulled out and is
No,
calling for you. You're in. You're gone.
exactly. I mean, it's just like that story that you always hear about, that mom that lifted the car off the child, those stories like that. If
Yeah.
it's your child, there's no choice. There is
Mhm.
zero choice. You go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
I
you can
mean,
do.
Gordon got caught in a rip. People
Yeah, it's
reminded me today
scary.
when you get caught in a rip that you don't fight against it.
Yeah, you just are supposed to
You
relax.
swim parallel,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Wait,
true that both Jacob and I panicked. The look in
right.
our eyes was like, this could end really badly. We looked at each other and we're
Mm-hmm.
like we had that oh shit look in our eyes. Like
Mm-hmm.
we are not in charge here. The ocean is in
Mm-mm.
charge here.
Yeah. You can't fight it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Jean says, even if it's not your child, you see a kid in difficulty,
Yeah.
you help. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Well, I'm so glad. And again, it was his birthday, and that would be even more tragic, right? Those stories about kids right before their birthday, something happens to them.
Birthday.
Oh my
Oh
God.
god. The next day, he's 11 and I'm thinking to myself the whole day, he almost
Yeah,
didn't see 11.
exactly. Exactly. Those are the
Crazy.
most tragic freaking stories ever. So I'm really,
Sorry.
really happy and does he always go to Monterey? This is the thing he always does for his
We
birthday or
always do,
something?
like, sometimes
Yeah.
we'll go we always take a family trip for his birthday because it usually falls on a holiday weekend.
Right.
President's Day weekend, and this year we had like they call it ski week off, but really
Right.
we get it off because we didn't use the days for wildfires earlier in the season.
Right. Right.
So we had the time with the kids off of school, and it just kind of worked out that we like to go down there, and it's close, and we
And it's
do, and
beautiful, and it was a beautiful weekend too. I
yeah,
mean, it's been
hmm
really, really nice. Where my kids are out too, so it's been a
hmm
nice. I mean, I had to work the past 3 days, which was kind of weird. I really didn't do anything. There was no kids in school, but it was odd.
yeah,
Jennifer says, once you lose your air, it takes your best of intentions away.
that's exactly
Absolutely.
right. What was weird is I felt usually in water, no
Mhm.
matter how much you weigh, you're light. You're
Oh yeah,
floaty and you're light.
exactly. You're
I
buoyant.
wasn't. I was weighed down.
Mm.
It's like I felt so heavy that I
It
could
just kept
hardly
crashing
crawl.
on top of you, I'm
Yeah, it was
sure,
pushing me. I and I could barely move. It's funny, afterward, I was in the hotel room trying, I'm sure the hotel loves us, trying to wash the sand out of all of the what remaining remnants of clothes we had. Jacob's swim trunks pockets were, like, filled with sand.
Mhm. I
There was
bet.
sand in every crevice of our bodies. We were, like,
Yeah.
pummeled with sand. It was crazy.
Oh, he'll never forget
Yeah.
that birthday.
Happy
He will
birthday.
never forget that birthday. Vinny
Glad to
says
be
so many
alive.
people exactly. So many people have died saving their loved ones under similar conditions. I've seen it firsthand.
Absolutely. Mhm,
Family members, animals. I always
mhm.
say if your dog goes in the ocean, do not go after dogs.
Right.
Dogs don't panic. Dogs do not panic in the ocean. They don't. I don't know how many times in the news we have done stories. I don't think I've ever reported on a dog in the ocean and the dog has come back dead. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever reported on a dog in the ocean and the dog's come back dead. I have on the
No.
owner.
Usually
I've
the dogs
the
survive
the
and the
dog
people
at the
die.
end of every
Yeah.
story, the
Yep.
owner died, the dog's
Dog
okay.
lived.
The dog
Absolutely.
lives. So just don't go
Yes.
after the dog. The dog will be okay.
And maybe it was, I don't know if it was the water or the sand or what. Heather says it's like one of those dreams where you're trying to run from something, but your legs are made of
Yes, I
lead.
hate those dreams. I
Totally like
hate
that.
those dreams.
Weird.
Oh, those
Anyway,
are the worst.
yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, Heather. It's like when you're exhausted from doing something. I remember when we went on vacation, I think it was last summer or the summer before, and we did one of those. It was when we went to Hawaii and we did that zip lining and that rope obstacle course thing.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
very last one, my arms were like jello, and
Oh,
I couldn't lift anymore. Like it was
yeah.
that feeling of like it was the simplest thing. I just had no
I
more
had no
muscle.
energy.
There's
Maybe
nothing.
the adrenaline, something happened, but
Yeah.
when finally I had that moment where I could crawl out, I
Mhm.
crawled out as much and I was still in the line of fire.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move, and I thought, "You have to move, you have to go, you
Yeah.
have to
Get out of
crawl,
that
you have
water.
to get out." And
Yeah.
I am trying to push myself, but it was, even though I knew that I was in a bad spot, it was hard to move. It was weird.
Yeah. Oh, babe. I'm
Yeah,
just so glad you guys are
yeah,
okay. I just can't imagine. And I'm so glad that
yeah.
you haven't seen any of those videos because I can't even imagine. I'd
No,
be
I
so
know they're
pissed.
out there. Like, somewhere there's someone laughing at my ass. That's
No, I
funny.
would hope not. That is just honestly from the child to you. F those people. If they
Yeah.
ever bad karma on them, absolutely bad karma on them. So, exactly, Rev. Super mom indeed. All right. Well, this is the Nikki Maduro show. I have my cocktail. It's been quite a week. Click that thumbs up button, you guys. We are 100% crowd funded. We love seeing you guys here every Thursday.
Yes, we do.
We have a new Patreon subscriber. I want to say
What?
welcome to Lynn, who has joined the
Lynn?
family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can go to the NikkiMadoroShow.com, and our entire family is there. Of course, the super chat and super stickers are live, PayPal, all the ways to help support this 100% crowd funded show. It was quite the week for
Yeah.
protests. We'll talk a little bit about I don't know. Did you have a lot of protests in your neck of the woods on President's Day? Because I had a shit ton in San Jose.
I did not see any in
None, really?
Petaluma. I did not see any in Monterey, but I thought you were gonna say, it was quite the week for Trump, because every
Yes, well,
time I
every
looked,
time.
there was some other craziness. Jean,
Absolutely.
thank you. She says,
Thank
"Sending love,
you.
Kim. So glad you're both okay. I live for your show. You, Nikki, Mark Thompson lately." Oh,
Oh,
Jean,
yes. Thank you
thank
very much.
you. Thank you, thank
Today, of course,
you.
there's the terrible news. Kash Patel has been confirmed as FBI director for some godforsaken reason.
Mm.
Uh, but good news, we don't have to deal with Mitch McConnell anymore, even though if he did, like, he's like, I'm not going to run for reelection. You're 83, dude. Like, just die. No, I don't mean that. But like, you're 83. You could pass away. Like, it's not inconceivable.
Well,
Okay. Like,
happily, he's had several moments where
or
he's
he's
just
like frozen.
stalled. Yeah, it's time for him to go into retirement, clearly.
It's been time. It
But
has
you know
been time.
what bothers me the most is that if he was a good steward
He
of
was never a good steward.
America, if he really represented his people instead of his own self-interests, if he was a good representative for his constituency, then he would have done then or over the years what he's doing now, which is now he's saying, oh, I can't vote for this Trump nominee. RFK Jr. doesn't believe in vaccines, and I had
Oh,
polio when I
blah,
was a
blah, blah.
child, and we
Yeah.
need to protect people. Oh, I need to stand up against this person. I need to do this. He's
No.
making the right choices now because he knows there's no threat of being primaried. There's
Right.
no reason to try to kiss Trump's rear end because it's
Mhm.
over.
Well,
So
I
what
will say
other things?
this. I mean, after January 6th, well, on, right after January 6th, he did speak out. I will say that that was really the only glimmer that I actually semi respected that sad turtle, but I really have zero respect for Mitch McConnell.
Mhm,
He helped destroy this country. He was one of the huge architects of what is wrong with not only conservatism but the Republican Party in general.
yeah,
Because he laid the groundwork for Trump and this whole idea, Rush Limbaugh, all of that crap. That's all Mitch McConnell's BS. You know what I mean? So like,
mhm,
no, he can go off, but he's also the poster boy for term limits. Like this is really stupid that he's 83 years old and is saying, I'm not going to run for reelection. Like you should not have run last time. This is
mhm.
way overdue, way overdue. And also he's also responsible for Merrick Garland not being a US Supreme Court justice. So Mitch McConnell can kiss my ass. So yeah, he's just a hypocrite. I can't stand him, but yes, I'm really glad that he has officially announced that he is no longer going to be running for reelection. Also this
Sayonara,
president,
Mitch.
yes, sayonara, Mitch. Also this week, President Trump wants to make his own birthday a federal holiday, which I find to be absolutely hilarious. In addition to the thumbnail about himself literally saying the quiet part out loud that he wants to be king with the crown, saying
Oh
long live the
my
king.
god. Is
Like
that
what
the
more do we
craziest thing?
need? Like
First of all,
literally.
who was it that, I have to look it up. Who was it that the representative that wants the Trump's birthday to be a national holiday?
Oh, who is that? Is
Claudia
some
something.
some chick that wants that. She
She's
is
a
like, can you
Republican from New
kiss
York.
his ass anymore? Like
I was
seriously?
gonna say, what an ass-kissing, brown-nosing move. "Oh, Trump, 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 let's
We
make your
need to make
birthday a national holiday." Congresswoman Claudia Teeney,
Yeah,
and
that's who
it's
it is.
already Flag Day. So, it already gets this designation. She wants to make it Trump President Donald Trump and Flag Day. No, here she wrote in her bill to pass,
Mm.
"No modern president has been more pivotal for our country than Donald J. Trump. He is the most consequential president in modern American history, leading our country at a time of great international and domestic turmoil." More
He
like
caused the
causing
turmoil.
causing the
He
turmoil.
caused the
Yes.
turmoil.
From brokering the historic Abraham Accords to championing the largest tax relief package in American history for the wealthy, and his impact on the nation is undeniable. Just as George Washington's birthday is codified as a federal holiday, this bill will add Trump's birthday to the list, recognizing him as the founder of America's golden age. Barf City. Are you
What does
kidding
she
me?
get? I mean, what does she get for that? I mean, does she get a little
Gross.
pat on the ass for that? What does she get? I mean, what do these people get? Like a wink and a nod? Do they get an appointment? Do they get a closer office? Do they get a cold pen? What do you get from kissing his ass so much?
Yes, because it's all transactional. So
They have to get something. Yeah, they have to get
everyone who
something.
brown noses and shoves their face straight into the crack
I
gets a
get,
present. Sorry to put it so bluntly and crudely, but that is
but
exactly
it
what
has
she's
to be
doing.
something, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, look, Trump. I said
Yeah.
something. I did something like a park. I love Kelvin a parking space. That's great. I mean, it's just so exactly, Dave. They're like groupies. They just want to be in the orbit. Like, I did something. I'm part of Trump's. Like, it's so gross.
It's very gross.
And it's so weird. Free Lou. I
The
don't
White
know.
House
Oh, I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird.
shared this picture of Donald Trump, as you mentioned,
Hmm.
dressed as a king
I know. It's so weird.
because he put out this Truth Social post about
Mm-hmm.
New York's roadways. And he's, as if he
Yes.
has any authority, no, he does not, to say that New York won't be having toll roads. He
Yeah.
says that no toll roads for New York.
Right.
Long live the king.
Long live the king. Yes, that's
Long
what
live
he
the
did.
what? Do you
Yeah,
know that America was founded on the fact that we don't have those types of titles?
exactly. And people are like so happy about it. They're so happy that he's done this. And it's actually crazy. Again, remember that the conservative party was so like anti-communism and all this sort of stuff, and yet they want a literal dictator. And they're like, oh, just a dictator for a day. Apparently it's like 4 weeks, right? It's like it's like when does this stop? When is it actually going to stop where he stops acting like some sort of dictator? I want to play this video
This is
because
the White House
go ahead.
posted that, Nikki. White House posted that.
Yeah. This is the long live the king thing. It is absolutely nuts. So this congestion pricing thing that Trump's like so happy. So apparently in January, they started this congestion pricing, right? And it was kind of, now you guys know how, let's just talk about congestion pricing. Again, I don't like congestion pricing in the Bay Area because we've designed our cities really crappy, right? In New York, it's a different thing because they have a really good public system where they have the subway system, all sorts of things. Okay. Traffic into Manhattan, they started it in January. Traffic into Manhattan dropped 7.5% in the first week of this new toll. That was about 43,000 fewer cars a day. Not a huge number, but that's significant. And they're saying, okay, that started. Now, the Trump administration ordered a halt to the toll. That's why he crowned himself the king. So, this counselor to Trump, her name is, hold on, I'm getting it open. Alina Habba. Okay. She's on Fox News.
She's just one of his lawyers. She's awful.
Yeah. So this is what she has to say. Now, remember, we're talking about Manhattan. Okay. We're not talking about the Bay Area. We're talking about 9 million or so workers. Okay. Listen to what she really thinks people like, what she's actually suggesting and proposing.
That
Here we
New
go.
York used to be one of the greatest cities in the country. And we will make it that way again. We will make it safe and we will allow tourism. We will allow people to drive to work, not have to take unsafe subways, which, by the way, she should be focusing on.
Talking about Hobo.
And doing the right things for constituents in that city. So her resistance is frankly more of, in my opinion, a PR move than anything realistic. Congestion pricing is wrong. It doesn't work. And Sean Duffy did a tremendous job by getting rid of it.
Having 9 million workers drive into Manhattan is a nightmare. It has never been feasible. If you go to New York City, and by the way, tourism has always been a thing in New York. They're not hurting for tourism ever. Okay. But anybody that knows anything in New York, you do not drive. You either take the subway or you walk. My parents grew up in New York. They barely drove. You take the subway or you walk in New York City. You know, obviously you have to take the bridge in, you take the subway and you take the ferry in, whatever. But you do not drive because it's not feasible. There's too many effing people. There's too many people. So this chick does not have any idea what she's talking about. They're trying to remove cars from the roads. That's why congestion pricing was put in place. Now, $9, that's a bit much. I mean, because you guys know how I feel about congestion pricing. I just kind of think that it's a tax on the poor. But I will say, telling everybody to drive, give me a break. Make the subway safer, make them cleaner, do whatever you want. But no friggin' way do we want everybody to drive into work. Give me a break.
This becomes now a power play, with Transportation Secretary Duffy sending a letter to the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul,
right,
saying the president doesn't really like this congestion pricing thing. We're not going to approve this.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. In case you don't know, New Yorkers, she said, we never back down, ever. She said, making it clear the cameras are staying on. There is not going to be an end to congestion pricing. She is the governor. She is deciding that she is going to do this. And she wrote in response to Trump's "Long Live the King," she
Mhm.
said, "I don't care if you love congestion pricing or hate it. This is an attack on our sovereign identity and our independence." And she said, uh, "We sure as hell." She said, "I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in more than 250 years, and we sure as hell aren't going to start now."
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. And I thought he wanted all the power to go to the states anyway. Wasn't
Yeah,
that the
what
whole
about
thing?
that?
What
Yeah,
about that?
right?
And I understand, Vicky, that you wanted Hochul to get to fire Eric Adams. That's a
Mhm.
complicated one. I don't think that Trump should have pardoned Eric Adams, but Kathy Hochul getting rid of a voter approved, person also would have gone over, reversed 200 plus years
Can
of
Trump
precedent.
pardon? I don't think he can pardon Adams. I think Adams is facing state charges, right?
I thought that Trump was doing something with Eric Adams, though,
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
he?
he's putting pressure on the prosecutors to try to not to
So,
try to
oh
get
yeah,
the
that's
case
what he's trying
knocked
to
out.
do.
But I don't think, yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one. I think she has to wait till a judge decides.
I
Otherwise,
think
you're
she's
getting
decided. I think that's what she said. She's decided she's not going to fire him today.
yeah,
That's what she said.
she's putting an oversight person in to watch over the job of New York and make
Right.
sure there's no
There's no
hinky.
iffy, but I think she
Mhm,
said she's like she's no one's ever done this in 200 plus years
mhm,
is override the will of the voters on Eric
right,
Adams, and she doesn't want to do that. That's what she
yeah,
was saying. And so I get it. I think Eric Adams is kind of a sleaze. Um but I agree. I mean, the voters put him in and they can take him out. You know what I mean? I mean, once he's up for reelection, don't vote him in again. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And believe me, I mean, come on. He's not the first nor the last dirty New York
Well,
freaking politician that they've had.
it's true. The problem I have is that they are putting pressure on the prosecutors not to, to pull out the charges, to
Right.
not move forward with the case. If a politician, regardless of party, is guilty of something, let the case move forward and let a jury decide. Let the process play out. Don't get
Right. They want
involved
him to
just because
dismiss the charges. Right. That's
yeah.
right.
I mean, Adams now cozies up to Trump so that his charges get dropped and everything's hunky dory. No, the thing is, you can't break the law and have things forgotten like that.
Yeah. Well, he's also not the first person that wants that done. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? I mean, it's so freaking dirty.
Yeah,
Politics is so freaking dirty. But again, I think that Eric Adams is ruining his political career. You know? So if he does this, if he continues with this pressure, or if Hochul if she did fire him, either way, his political future, I think, is pretty much done. I think what he's going to do if he does this is he's going to cozy up to Trump. And if MAGA stays strong, he might flip parties. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
look at it. He doesn't seem to care what happens. It's which way the wind blows with this guy. Obviously. So screw Eric Adams. He's an idiot. We had tons, by the way, of protests in San Jose over
Oh,
Not My President's Day. In San Jose, we had them all over the Circle of Homes in downtown San Jose. We had all kinds of protests, and I was happy to see it. I really was. Have you heard of this? And I haven't heard of it specifically. I guess this 50. It's called the 50-51 movement. 50 states. I want to get it right. So it's the 50-51, 50-50. So it's 50-51 movement. And they
okay.
want to have all these protests in all 50 states. Okay. So it's 50501. They want to have protests in more than half of the states in the US from California to Colorado, Tennessee, and Massachusetts. And they want, obviously Elon Musk and all these billionaires out of the states. And they had a bunch of Not My President's Day protests. And I'm happy to see it. I was on social media though on President's Day and the rest of this week, and there was a great post by AOC, and she was making the point of, and I don't know if it's true for all of you. Republican voters are more mobilized
Mhm.
regarding calling Republican lawmakers, not just Democrats, but Republican lawmakers. And she's like, if you don't think that the calls work, and we talked about this last week, right? About using our voice and thinking whether it works or not. We really need to continue to not just call on one day and just do one day of protests, but we need to continue doing it because honestly, crap like what Donald Trump is saying regarding his power and what he's going to be doing scares the living crap out of me. So like there's this, and I know that you probably have seen this, but it's crap. This shit scares me.
Lastly, we have another executive order that President Trump signed relating to independent agencies. This executive order would establish important oversight functions in the Office of Management and Budget and its subsidiary office, OIRA, supervising independent agencies and many of their actions, and also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the president or the attorney general can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I understand that the president speaks for the executive branch. Like I'm trying to make sense of what the hell they're talking about, right?
Mhm.
But he doesn't get the attorney general is not supposed to be aligned with the president. You know what I mean? Like they're not supposed to be always on the same side.
No.
There's supposed to be some sort of at least appearance, motherfuckers, of like separation. You know what I mean? Like, can you act like somebody's paying attention to the law?
It's
You
one
know?
of these things where all of the things that Trump accuses others of doing, he does himself.
Thank
So when
you.
President Biden was saying, hey, the Department of Justice and the Attorney General are doing what they need to do in these legal cases against Trump, and I haven't spoken to the Attorney General, and I have no, I'm
Not pressuring
hands off.
him. Right.
I'm out of it.
He doesn't care.
That is not what happens in the Trump administration. And because
No.
he knows how he operates, he assumes everyone else is doing it the wrong way as well. That's not how America is supposed to work. And all of the protests that you talked about across the country, there should be so many more people outraged and upset over all of this. There should be, I mean, I don't know how bad it has to get before you can't even see the pavement, that there's so many people protesting that our rights are being taken away, jobs are being taken away, the Constitution is being trampled, and America is no longer America. When are we at the point where the grand experiment we can officially declare over and dead? I'm not ready to do it yet. I want to see if something happens. And I feel like the only way is it has to get bad enough for Republicans to finally realize that the America that we love, the Constitution, is in high jeopardy, and that everything that they were for is
Right.
killing the country. And if that happens, and if Republicans come to their senses and can disengage in the power and turn on Trump instead of trying to make him into his birthday into a national holiday, then
Right.
there could be a true impeachment. We could get rid of him. We could support the Constitution and put it first, and we could get back to being America. So I'm not willing to declare it over yet, but it sure looks like it's headed that way.
I read one quote where they were saying, we just got to shut down the country. Like people are just going to have to shut down the country. I'm waiting for one specific thing as the soonest thing, the unemployment numbers.
Mm.
Like, I want to see the unemployment numbers. People are being laid off. A lot of people are being laid off. I want to see that. I want to see, obviously I think the ripple effects of certain things are going to take some time. I don't know. I think the brainwashing of people saying, I've seen this many times. What don't you understand? There's just not any money for all of this waste. What don't they understand?
Mhm.
That there's no thinking involved with all of this cutting, right? Like Jesse Waters, who's a anchor on Fox News, he finally spoke out about this one little thing because one of his friends was a veteran who lost their job. He's like, you need to be a little careful about who you're cutting because my friend was a veteran and lost his job. Oh,
Right.
we said that last week. I'm like, only unless it affects you personally. That was the only time he spoke out against it. Oh, my friend lost his job. You should be a little careful how you talk about it. What the hell?
Unless it affects them, they're not going to get it.
They don't care.
I saw this video on YouTube of this woman who is all pro-Trumpy until she gets her food stamps taken away or suspended for some reason. And now she's like, oh, uh-oh, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I voted for. Well, everyone, we warned, I don't know how many times we can say it, but the problem is the people that need to hear it aren't listening to us. They're listening to Fox. They're just getting, their blank space in between their ears is being shuffled with sand. They're not getting the truth. And so when the truth smacks them in the face, it's hard to swallow.
I'm trying to find this video. Jasmine Crockett, you know her. She's always speaking out, the congresswoman. But I can't find the video right now. She's like, we are about to be basically in the find out. We are actually in the find out moment of this. Like Alabama broke, Louisiana broke. She's like, blue states, New York, California. When we send all of those dollars to the federal government, the University of Alabama that does all of these research programs no longer getting those dollars anymore. Now all of those people aren't going to have jobs. They don't understand what things fund. They don't understand it. And now all of a sudden they're going to be like, what do you mean I don't have a job? What do you mean this program isn't going to have money? What do you mean I'm not going to get this check? What do you mean? They don't. And the thing is, they voted for it. You know, these people are the ones that voted for it. And I want there to be, and I don't know if we can do it legally, and I don't want to hurt people on purpose, but sometimes stupid should hurt, right? Stupid should hurt. Stupid should really
instead of Forrest Gump, stupid is a stupid does.
Yeah, stupid should hurt. It should, because then there'd be fewer stupid people, right? But like, I think that California and blue states should be able to stop sending. Look, if the federal government doesn't want to spend federal dollars anymore, then California should no longer be sending any of our state dollars to the federal government, right? Yeah. We should be keeping all of the state money that we generate because we need to keep things running, like our national parks, our roads. We're a huge state. So we're a gigantic state. We have a lot of people that we need to take care of. How are we going to do that? So sorry, Alabama and Louisiana, welfare states. Sorry to call you that, but you are. You're welfare states. We take care of you with our tax dollars. Sorry, you don't understand how the system works, but that's how it is. So we're no longer going to do that because you're considered waste to Elon Musk and Donald Trump. So sorry, we're cutting off the dole. Sorry.
So how do we do that though? Because I mean, I guess there aren't as many. There won't be because now, according to what I just read, IRS firings happened today. So there won't be as many people to bring in the money. But
we just won't pay them.
If you don't pay federal taxes, you put yourself at risk. So how do we keep that money in California? I don't see a way.
I don't know. I mean, if we don't pay our taxes, what IRS agent's going to come after you? No. There's fewer IRS agents to come after you. I don't know. The whole country is it's up is like I put in the thumbnail. Up is down. Down is up. I have no idea what is going on. I don't get it. Trump can say out. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine if Joe Biden put himself on the cover of a magazine and said, "Long live the king"? Republicans would lose their minds, and yet they think it's okay. This is my problem with the Republican Party. And they sit there on their pedestal and say, it's not a big deal. That's my problem with you Republicans. You guys are effing hypocrites, because if it was Joe Biden or any Democrat that had the audacity to do that, that's what I wish Republicans would do. Instead of putting Donald Trump there, put Joe Biden, put Barack Obama. Oh my God. If Barack Obama put himself on a magazine cover with a friggin' crown and said, "Long live the king,"
Crazy.
you would lose your mind.
Right.
Your heads would literally, and I don't even mean that figuratively. I think Louisiana would literally effing explode. And like, I just, you know you would. You would. So like, stop. That's my problem with all of you people. It's just such hypocrisy that I can't stand. And then you're like, you have Trump derangement syndrome. No, it's the hypocrisy from your party that I can't stand. That's my problem. That's my problem.
And Tammy says,
Exactly.
Obama wore a tan suit. God forbid.
Oh God, that's the Democratic Party. That's the worst thing the Democratic Party did.
I'll take
We
a
gave
tan
you
suit.
health care and a tan suit.
Lord.
Fucking forgive us. Sorry. We wanted to give you health care. You know, we wanted to feed your kids, and we gave you a tan suit. Oh my God.
Dave says, imagine if Harris had won and had Bill Gates doing what Elon is doing. They'd be spinning around in their chairs, in the ground in their chairs. Yeah.
I swear, it just,
No.
it boggles my mind. It literally does. And that's what gets my blood boiling. It's like every time Donald Trump does something, I wish they'd put Barack Obama in that seat, and I'd be like, are you okay if he did it?
Mm-hmm.
And they, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. And they sit on their freaking pedestal and but whatever, we know the truth. Whatever.
Michael makes a great point. Hey, if traitor Trump can run for a third term, so can Obama.
Yep. Exactly. Absolutely.
But, it's the thing again, though, that Democrats don't play dirty like that. Obama wouldn't do it because he
wouldn't want
imagine,
to.
Well, I think if he knew he was saving the country, he probably would, but he would win and then immediately turn around and hand his power to whoever his vice president would be or whatever, because he knows that this is the way America has worked. Remember, they tried to ask George Washington to keep serving, and he said no, because this country should not have a king.
Right.
This power needs to be passed.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's what our founding fathers wanted the country to do. So why would we do it differently now?
Exactly.
Do we not believe in the tenets of America? Are we just kind of letting it all sail away for this weird guy?
This is an ex-NFL punter, Chris Cluey, who was protesting. I wanted to play a little bit of it. I liked what he did. You know what I mean? I think that people need to use their platform to do this. And I'm going to show you the plaque when he's done doing his protest, because it's total BS.
Made clear at the library last Tuesday, everyone is in favor of a plaque to celebrate the library, but the vast majority are against including a MAGA acrostic. Okay. Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen. So instead, I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. Yep. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience. Get out.
I love it. I mean, then you just kind of carry it off. Now, I
So
love that
I
he
guess
did it.
what I wonder is, why is he being handcuffed down on the floor? Because he walked toward the dais?
Apparently. I mean, I think they honestly just took him out because they didn't know what he was gonna do, and I think that was
Mhm,
kind of what he did. Here's the plaque. Okay, this is, and I kind of zoomed in. It's so freaking tacky.
mhm.
But you see right there, and it's like, it's not even really legible, but you see right there, magical, alluring, galvanizing, adventurous.
That's
This is
stupid.
supposed to describe a library, people.
They have $7,000 to spend on this plaque. I'm thinking that library is overfunded. Where's DOGE? Get DOGE in there.
But the thing is like, libraries are so under attack. And I know it's Huntington Beach, a very white conservative enclave. Like, I get it. And people are like, it's great. This is the problem with MAGA, is that they have to take, it's, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of taggers. Like graffiti people, like, but they
Mhm.
don't do like artistic graffiti. They just have to tag their like initials and stuff on everything. Like, it's like that, but politically. I have to put MAGA on everything. No, you do not. You don't, because it doesn't even mean what you think it means anymore. You've
Yeah.
taken words, make America great again, which doesn't even make any sense because our history is very flawed. And like, and it's so stupid. It is so absolutely
Mhm.
asinine. And then
Yeah.
it's like celebrating 50 years of being a beacon of education, a catalyst for dreams, and a sanctuary for children to feel safe, valued, and free to grow. You're so effing, that is the opposite of what MAGA is. MAGA is like, you can only read what we want you to read. And God forbid, I posted on my social
You can
media, I
only
feel sorry.
you can only be who we want you to be.
They
No no drag queens at that library.
Right, but you saw that they banned, what's her face's, Freckles book.
Oh, Freckle Faced Strawberry, a book, by the
Yes,
way, written by Julianne Moore, a book which
yes,
I have at my house because my daughter is a redhead, and it was purchased for her when she was little by my mom, and it's a book about a redheaded girl with freckles who
right.
feels self-conscious about her freckles, and she hates her freckles, and she comes to realize that her freckles are beautiful. And this has been put on the Trump list of banned
Banned
books that are
books.
under now review. For what reason? So
Why?
weird.
Like, this is what we're talking about, like,
Yeah,
why? Why would you ban a book about freckles, about loving yourself the way you are?
that's right.
This is what we're talking about, and
Mhm.
we're already on the slippery slope. We're, like, sliding down it, people, and I saw this comedian, and he was like, I just don't think that it's as bad as people think it is. I just don't. And it's like, no, it is as bad as you think it is. Now, I understand taking a break because I do it all the time. Honestly, I do it between the shows, between Thursday and Thursday, because I have to for my own mental health. I do, because I spiral. I've been spiraling between the show. And Kim, I don't know honestly how you do it anymore, but I do. I spiral, and I literally have to tell myself. And I do this every time we have the show, because I get kind of catastrophic about the whole thing. And I
Yeah.
know that I can't do that. And I don't want any of you guys to do that, because I do have hope, and I think we create the world that we create. But we have to stay focused. Like, look at that. I mean, come on. Come on.
This book was amazing. As people call you Carrot Top and they make fun of red hair. Even to this day, Julia gets made fun of for having red hair. Her red hair, by the way, which is so pretty
It's so
and
gorgeous.
so amazing and makes her stand out, and the sun hits it and it's magic. And it's definitely an attention grabber though. But
But
it was
where is the media being like, Donald Trump, why did you ban a book about freckles?
yeah,
Like,
still very
why?
silly.
But where is the media
Yeah.
on that? Like, why? And I know it's not the biggest news story, but like, why?
Mhm.
Why are they like, and these are the things, it's just so many things that we have to question him about, that everything gets drowned out. And
Mhm.
that's the problem. And I'm so sad about it. I'm so, between this cutting agencies and is it safe to fly? Who feels safe flying
Who
right
the heck
now?
is in charge, right? Who's in charge? Things are falling apart. The safety, the protections we had with food and medicines and all of these things are
And
going
bird
away.
flu and he calls it all waste.
Who's
Explain
in
to me why
charge?
people are getting fired with no cause. Veterans who go into service and then come out of combat and are like, I don't care what job I get. I just want to continue to serve. They're put into these jobs and they're like, I just want a job. And now they're considered waste. Government waste. I'm sorry, you're a line on my budget. You're waste. And then where are they supposed to go? This is a question I want someone in the media to ask. Donald Trump, what are you doing for all of these federal American workers who are now on the unemployment line? What are you doing for all of these veterans that no longer have jobs, that have been trained for these jobs? What are you doing for them? What training are you getting? Is there any plan to help these people get another job? What are you doing for your fellow Americans? Or are you abandoning them to now be on unemployment? Or are our taxpayers now covering that? What are we doing for these people?
And then what do? We end unemployment? Like, I don't know. Is that over too now coming up? Did you hear this, Nikki? There's this story about,
I heard this.
okay, well, what are we going to do with, when we save all this money? It's supposed to be, I don't know how many billions that we're going to save by cutting all of these jobs and these agencies and what have you. But 20% of what we cut is supposed to then, if it works out the way they want, be turned around and sent back to the American taxpayer. We're all going to get between $5,000 and $8,000 cash money for all the money that we're saving. Let's say it's not 5,000, as this headline from Market Watch or MSN Money Markets indicates. Let's say it's the 8,000 that I originally heard. I'm not rolling in dough over here, but I'll tell you this: I would rather you take the $8,000 and make sure that my family and the rest of my brothers and sisters in America have clean air and clean water.
Yep.
And soil, the food grown in clean soil, free of chemicals, and medicines that work and that are legit instead of snake oil being sold, and protections for the things that we buy with the Consumer Protection Agency and what have you, that we get in an airplane and we have much more confidence that they're not going to crash, that the kids that are on the 504 plans at school will still be able to have those extra protections that they need to succeed.
Special ed kids, everything like that.
I'll tell you what, I'll send you my $8,000 back.
You're not getting any of that money anyway.
As it is.
Yeah.
Because that is $8,000. That's not very much to give for all the protections that we get as Americans. Not cool.
It's all BS. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all, and Elon must be like, you can go on the DOGE website and see everything, and mistakes will be made, but we'll fix them really quickly, and blah, 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 blah. You have to have cause to fire people. There are people that have come forward and say, look, I had a job. I had great reviews. There's nothing in my job reviews that have shown that I have not been performing well. There's no cause for me to be fired. That's the problem. This is not how you do it. Mm-mm. And people are just like, it's just waste. Until it's your job. And then people are just like, oh yeah, it's just waste. Until it's your job. And I just don't understand how people are okay with it. Liz says, I'm worried about the planes. Yeah, I am too. Me too. Mm-hmm. Josh says special education was already staffed and underfunded. Absolutely. There was just a local story. People that are deaf, there's not enough special ed teachers, there's not enough ASL teachers. In my own school, we have a shortage of all of these people. And now he's cutting all of it. Who's going to suffer? And as we try to fill these roles, kids are still going through class. And then they're going to be like, oh, why is California, why is the US so low in education? Because as you're messing around with all of these agencies, kids are aging and being educated. No, they're not. You're messing around while they're trying to get an education. Yeah, our national parks are so effed. I just put up our thing from a couple weeks ago. Like, the lines on President's Day out the door because there was no one like with keys. Like, he has no idea the planning that's involved, the systems that are in place. There was an article in SFK. Did you see it about Kauai? You know, the lands that are protected, the precious lands to keep invasive species down that you have to watch daily to keep these things, protected. We have no idea the science involved, the skill involved.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't give a shit.
Take all the $8,000. I want it all back. It's interesting because Heather writes, can we even believe anything DOGE says anyway?
Right.
And there's an article in the Huffington Post.
Where's the oversight?
It says how DOGE's sketchy wall of receipts set off panic inside a federal agency. They're claiming savings they aren't responsible for.
Right. This
from the National Labor Relations Board in Buffalo, New York. They said their office lease was set to be canceled. They apparently are tallying up the dollar value of the layoffs, assets, contract cancellations since Trump took office. They say there was $1 million in annual savings due to true termination consolidation. But that isn't the case at all. It's lies.
They're just making up numbers?
They say it's definitely possible. They're claiming they save money without actually doing anything at all. The National Labor Relations Board staff union was told Wednesday that employees would have to be out of the office within 90 days. Then the union gets a conflicting news today that the Buffalo workers were being moved to a smaller office in the same building, which was already under plan when President Biden was in office. So is it DOGE saving money? Who is it saving money? Yeah. And what are they really doing? It's like they're saying in Social Security where
150 million people are like
right.
all the dead people.
Not true. They just don't understand the system.
Right. And what oversight is there of DOGE that they're even telling the truth? We're just taking their word for it. They could put whatever they want into the system. We're like, okay. Like, that's the problem. They created a whole agency that's not an agency that Elon Musk is working for but not working for. And we're supposed to just buy it. Hook, line, and sinker. Like, and there's no oversight. He's taken no oath. He's not an employee. He doesn't report to Congress. Like, that's the problem. And everyone's like, it's okay. You guys are idiots. And we are paying attention, Phineas, but nobody wants to listen to us because MAGA is so brainwashed. They're like, of course, Trump's telling us the truth because he's so believable, because he has such a great track record of always telling the truth.
Yeah. They want to take the money away from managing the Presidio. The Yosemite doesn't have enough staff to make things work. There are parks all over the place, national parks all over the place that now don't have the funding with, tourist season incoming to do what they need to do. So some parks are just closing.
Yep. Heather's like, quick question. How the fuck did this happen? Republicans, the GOP, got control. Slim majority, and none of them have an effing backbone. None of them.
And an excellent funneling of information.
None of them have a backbone. They have failed their country. They have failed their country. And who was it? Was it Marco Rubio that said if Donald Trump becomes president, that we only have ourselves to blame? I think it was him or Ted Cruz, one of those freaking weasels. Yeah, absolutely. Foreshadowing.
Deidre says they just fired the only locksmith at Yosemite. There was a great article a few days ago.
Yeah, it was the only one in the
park that holds the keys to the park. You're out.
And I was thinking to myself, I was like,
the nuclear stockpile people. It's like, who's thinking?
And I was thinking, like, do any of these people just want to stay just for the love of like the park? But why would they? Why would they? If you don't care about them, why would they care about us? Like, I don't know. I hate to end like I don't like to be so again, this is when I spiral, right? I'm just like, well, who's going to save us? Like, do we as just human beings love each other enough to just come together? But we have to like I am not going to go quietly into that good night, right? Like I'm just not going to be like, I'm just not going to it's not going to be a Handmaid's Tale thing where there's going to be like line up and just do whatever. No, F that, right? But there is going to be a point where we're just like, no, right? Like you can sign any piece of paper and say, I want this, but people have to at some point be like, okay, no, no, you can't do that. And that's what I'm waiting for Congress to be like. And it doesn't seem, I'm hoping that it seems like right now Democrats will be like, yeah, you have to stop now. But when are we going to see that actually play out into fruition, right?
Mhm.
That's why I'm hoping the jobs report, the economy, the repercussions of these tariff freaking wars. I'm hoping for the repercussions to start playing out. The find out part of the fucking around, that's
Yeah.
what I'm waiting for. So I'm hoping that happens before we lose America. But I don't know.
I love Sandy's comment. Sandy writes, we tried to warn others how dangerous he was. They
Yeah.
didn't care. Even eating cats and dogs didn't stop people from voting for him. Something is seriously wrong. And so we move to the FAFO portion of this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
and hope for the best and hope for an impeachment and hope we can get back on track.
I don't think
And
we're going to get an impeachment, though. I don't think we're going to get an impeachment. What I do think is I hope that we're going to get
if it
a reversal. We're not going to get an impeachment. We're
you
impeached,
don't think if it gets bad
exhausted.
enough, if the Constitution is trampled on enough that America, like, because at the very base, maybe I'm so naive and so
You are so
stupid,
naive.
but
No.
maybe at the core,
To get
remember the day
Vance,
after 9/11,
to
and
get
that
Vance.
we had all the if he sees the writing on the wall, he changes like a chameleon, right? So if we all believe in the true concepts of America, if we see America dying, isn't someone going to offer CPR? Do they really want power and money that badly that they're willing
Yes.
to kill the country?
I hope that they'll just stop this nonsense with the whole Project 2025
Mm.
because that's what they're implementing, obviously. I hope, Marcus, you can bullshit the unemployment numbers all you want, but I think there'll be an uprising. You can only fire so many veterans and people that are actually people without people being like, I don't have a job anymore, right? Like you can implement Project 2025, but the people that are actually being impacted are not part of that 0.001%. Do you understand? Like, that's the problem I think the Republican Party and Donald Trump is going to run into is the actual people that they need to rally behind them. Unless you're going to give all those people money, unless you're going to take care of them, right? How are you going to rally all those people behind you? So you can finagle all those unemployment numbers you want, but unless you're going to put them on some sort of dole and give them cash money, how are you going to take care of them? So I don't know how that's going to happen. Be interesting to see. I really, really do. Yeah, I agree with you, Phineas. The SCOTUS, that's also where I'm putting some hope. Are they batshit crazy?
Yes. They're in Trump's
Scalia
pocket.
screwed us. Scalia totally screwed us because Scalia agrees. You know what Scalia really agrees with? He agrees with the whole Donald Trump gets to interpret the law bullshit. Like he agrees with that whole thing. Because you want to know why? Because he truly sees, hey, if all of these agencies are technically under the executive branch, then the president gets to decide how those are run. But those are supposed to be independent agencies. They're not supposed to be led by the freaking president. They're independent agencies. I don't understand why the judge, a Supreme Court justice doesn't understand that, but he's an idiot. But yeah, I understand that people have zero faith in the Supreme Court, but that's probably where it's going to come. That's probably where it's going to come.
Wow.
So we'll see.
You know what else? Budget cuts are causing the year-round biologists who live out at the Farallon Islands to leave for the first time. It's unprecedented, they say. Unprecedented. Is that crazy? Budget cuts. Wow. That's wild.
And there's nothing out there. They literally just live out there. That's it.
With the rats and the mice and the sharks. The one golden thing that we have to look forward to, because when you talk about this much sad stuff, we have to have something good to look forward to.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yay! I love Survivor.
Yeah, it's February 26th.
Okay, there you go.
Survivor season 48 starts. Also, we get new seasons of Yellowstone, and some of the Yellowstone spinoffs.
I don't watch Yellowstone, but I do know that many of you like it. You know what else is coming out? This is another weird one. Okay, and I'm going to show you a video. Okay, I don't know. Okay, there seems to be this theme of people, celebrities. I'm going to talk about celebrities. And they want to show you their lives behind like the scenes. And I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if this is the home that should be like behind the scenes that you want to see. Okay. So I'm going to show you the video of them. And hold on, I got to play the ad first before I show it to you. And the only reason why is I just kind of think that, well, when I watched the ad of it, I like the actor. Okay. I will say this. I really do like the actor just because we grew up watching him and it is what it is. But at the same time, I don't know how it's going to land with people. Okay. So here's the ad for the show. And I don't know if people are going to read it the same way.
What are you doing with that bone?
We're going to go celebrate. Come on.
We moved into this apartment in November of 2011. Her and I, no kids. It's quiet. And then number one came.
Now listen.
One kid, two kids. No, you come back. No. Oh, don't do that. Oh, heads up. 3 kids, 4 kids. And
Look how old he is.
The outer limit. But we kept going.
Oh my God, you're.
Oh,
So,
man.
8 kids. And apparently they're going to talk on the show about the Rust shooting and the PTSD that they had from it. I don't know. I think it's a bit too soon. I think it might be a little too soon for Alec Baldwin to start like trying to do the, look at my family kind of thing. You shot somebody, Like, I know that it was I really, truly do believe that Alec Baldwin did not mean to. I really do believe that. I do not think that Alec Baldwin meant to fire a gun and kill somebody. I do not believe that at all. I don't. Do I think that mistakes were made on that film set? Absolutely. But I do not believe that Alec Baldwin meant to shoot and kill somebody. I don't. But, dude, like, I don't know if Alec Baldwin, with also his history of like anger and being caught on camera, like yelling at his children and calling them fat pigs and all kinds of stuff. Like Alec Baldwin doesn't always have the best history anyway. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're not the best person to like, do all those things. So I do like Alec Baldwin as an actor. Yeah. But I don't think I like Alec Baldwin as a person, like a person,
right?
A person personally. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, maybe. I don't know enough about him, really. I just know that he has a bit of a temper.
He talks to his kids terribly, apparently. But 8 kids with his last wife. Like, damn, dude, condoms exist. I don't even understand. I don't get it. Like, that dude, 8. Remember Octomom and we judged her?
Yeah.
Like, remember that? 8 kids.
I don't understand it. I don't want to judge.
I mean, he's rich though, so he can take care of them. But like, fine. Dude.
But you wouldn't, catch me with that many. That's crazy. I agree with you. I saw one more story. I want to show this one to you. This is a new rideshare service that you can go on if you
Okay. Who's
want.
that dude?
It's called Protector. And
Okay.
it's like being described as Uber with guns. So if you were, say, feeling like you needed security, right? You needed armed men, big armed men to come
Mhm.
protect you and shepherd you from one place to another. Now on Apple and the Mac App Store, rideshare services like Protector are available.
Are
Former
you serious?
military and law enforcement professionals who are
Really?
armed with guns.
Los Angeles Police Department.
And here they are. Here's the guys that will come get you. They're armed. They'll wear suits or they'll dress down. Whatever it is you need, you can call Protector and they'll come to you with guns and they'll make sure you safely get where you need to be.
I swear to God, I'm watching this closely because I have a friend. I'm not even kidding that I went to K through 8 with
Mm-hmm.
that like I know would do this, like is qualified to do this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he was in the Marines and he does like, I don't know if he still does it, but like did security, like that
Mhm.
kind of security, like military, high security person security. Yeah, I don't
It's
see him in here, but like
it's
I would not be
available
surprised if he was like in one of these type of things.
it's available as of today only in Los Angeles and New York City. It's on-demand security detail. So when you book it, you
Interesting.
can select the amount of protectors you want inside of your vehicle. You can choose their dress code options: business formal, business casual, tactical casual,
Int-
operator. You can choose as many as 3 vehicles to be included in a motorcade. You can choose whether you want the single Cadillac Escalade with one protector. They'll come get you in Hollywood, wherever you are. They say they tried to book it from a newsroom in Southern California on Saturday night. They said it would cost them $1,000 according to the app, offering 5 hours of protection, which is the minimum hours that can be selected. And you can
wow.
split the cost up between 5 people. And if
Oh,
you
that's
want
not bad.
you can do a membership for $129 a year. So if you are feeling unsafe
Hold
in
on,
your
how much a
home,
year?
129 for a membership, but I think that you still
That's
have
a
to pay
month
for
or a
the service.
day
Yeah.
or something. 129.
129 per year, and then you still have to pay for the services.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you know what I think? With so many people becoming like influencers and making a lot of money nowadays,
Mhm.
like I could see that really becoming something
Yeah.
because people are it doesn't seem like it, but the idea of celebrity, it's not like, big name people anymore. You don't have to be a Taylor Swift. You don't have to be a movie star. You can just be someone that's on the internet all of the time. People see you all of the time and they
Uh-huh.
will stalk your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I
Isn't
mean,
that funny?
I'm not trying to but there
Well,
were
hey.
times where,
Mm.
I'll walk in and people are like, "Are you Nikki?" Remember that one time I was like in a bar and somebody's like, "Are you Nikki?" And I know I'm local, like it was a
Yeah.
local bar,
But
but
you're
it's
like, "Yes, I
weird.
am."
But it's weird. And I'm on radio. Can you imagine if it was a TikToker? Like that's weird. You would probably need security, right? Like,
I'll just
oh,
throw this out there in the
weirdos.
world.
Right.
Perhaps you are here in an undocumented fashion, right?
Oh,
And
that's a good idea.
you're wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and you are afraid that the law enforcement is coming after you
Oh.
or ICE is coming your way. Why
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you if you were going somewhere in a public event like that,
Oh, that's
and you had the money
interesting.
to hire a
I
security
wonder what
detail?
would happen in that
I
situation.
don't
Like if you were
know.
undocumented and you
Yeah.
hired private security and then they shot ICE. Ooh,
I
that'd
don't
be a
think they would. There's probably some type of caveat where they won't
like
go
you
against law
can't
enforcement.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like you can't like have
Mhm.
a shootout between
No,
law
you
enforcement and
can't do
anything
it.
like that. Like that
But,
would be pretty bad.
it would probably be better than having no security detail. Maybe they'd be looking around and they'd be aware of who's coming and they'd be able to get you out.
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. That'd be
Yeah.
really, really, that's an interesting type of thing. But again, this is kind of the world we live in with like social media and everything coming out. And again, you also saw that TikTok is now available to everyone again. So you can get it. It's back on Apple or the Apple App Store or whatever. Again, it was all smoke and mirrors. That was a total thing for Trump. Everyone's like, oh, thank you, Donald Trump. No, it was such a BS type of thing that was never, ever going to go away. I don't know. And I really don't even know if they ever made a deal, right? Did we ever figure out whether or not they made a deal on selling it or not? Because, okay, hold on here. ByteDance US backers say China's growth to counter any TikTok ban damage. So TikTok is fighting to keep its popular video app available in the US. So, I mean, there's still, obviously, there is still a back and forth. So TikTok is saying that it slashed its global trust and safety team as part of a restructuring, even as the China-owned company fights to stay online in the U.S. The guy that runs the operations and safety division informed staffers of the shake up. The layoffs have already begun in Europe. It's unclear how many employees in the U.S. will be part of the overall cuts. The company has said more than 40,000 trust and safety personnel around the world have been cut. So I guess the future of TikTok remains in limbo, but as of right now, you can still get it on the Apple App Store. Yeah. So there's still a 90-day stay.
I have another one for you.
Mm.
And this, I think, is an interesting commentary about how things are changing, just technology and the way we do things. You know, used to be you turn on the TV, you were going to deal with commercials. You knew that you are, right?
Right.
Now with streaming, sometimes you get commercials,
Yeah, I get
sometimes you
commercials all the
don't,
time. Right.
right? But you don't really have to watch the commercials. So how do businesses get your attention?
Huh.
They do something like this. This
Let's
is
see.
Chili's. They have joined with Lifetime and they've made this National Margarita Day rom-com. It's a 15-minute original special called I'll Be Home for National Margarita Day. It stars Taye Diggs and Maria
No.
Menounos. It's a 15-minute Chili's commercial is what it is. And so they market it as it's a 15-minute rom-com.
Isn't that what KFC did? Remember when they did that with what's his face? Remember what's his face? The KFC with that guy from Saved by the Bell.
That was it Zac Efron?
No, it was the other guy, Saved by the Bell guy.
Hmm.
Oh, it was Mario Lopez.
Okay.
Remember he did the Hunky Colonel Sanders? Don't you remember that?
Yeah, the Hunky Colonel Sanders.
Remember
Yes.
back in 2020 when we were all
Yeah.
like COVID, they did the whole thing. So I think this is kind of a playoff of that. That's crazy.
Here's
That's
the plot.
nuts.
The television event tells the story of Liz and Sam, former love interests who were reunited at the local Chili's when
Oh my
Liz
God.
returns to her hometown, desperate to escape the big city's overpriced margaritas.
Oh, stop.
Are you kidding me?
Stop. Give me a break
Everything
over here.
seems perfect until a big city developer's plans to build condos threatens to ruin the town's National Margarita Day traditions. Seriously.
I swear to God. I am
So,
telling you, that's crazy.
This is a new way of seeing commercials. They're
Yeah.
just going to do a commercial movie. Make
You
their own little
know,
movie.
what do you think? I mean, if you had no, I mean, it's still product placements in movies, I would rather do than something like this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I could tell when a movie is doing product placement. I even call it out. I'm like, product placement. I would rather have that than something like this. Like,
Yeah.
plus, I don't want it to last as long. I'm not going to watch a 15-minute commercial about
15-minute long
margarita.
commercial. Well, they
No.
make it feel like a movie,
No.
but it's just so over the top. But I guess, now that we don't really have the traditional commercials anymore, there was a time, I was thinking about this the other day with my kids. You and I can probably sing all of the jingles, the commercial
Yes.
jingles from our youth.
Oh,
But because
absolutely.
our kids don't have to watch
Watch
those
commercials.
commercials anymore, right? I mean, they don't know those things, which is good in a lot of ways. But how do
Well,
businesses sneak in there? How did they, you
that's
know,
true in a way, but I
yeah.
mean, now it seems like you can't get away from commercials at all. It's like they screwed you. Like we went from watching TV with commercials and we had to
Mhm,
watch the commercials to having DVRs where we could fast forward the
mhm,
commercials to having Netflix where we didn't have to watch the commercials to now having all these streaming services where unless we pay out the butt, we have to watch
mhm,
ads. Like I pay for Hulu Live, but I'm too cheap to pay for like no ads. So I still have to watch the ads and I can't even fast forward them. So I
mhm,
still have to watch the ads. But there
yeah.
are some ads from my youth that like the Diamond Store. Remember the Diamond Store from like there's some local
Mhm.
ads that you just
Oh, totally.
always remember. And they're
Sure.
just like
I
you want to
remember the
remember them. You know
camera
what I
store.
mean?
Dublin, Berkeley, San Lorenzo,
Yeah,
Cupertino,
you
San
know what I
Jose.
mean? Like
Yep.
you like the ad because you remember the name it is. Oh my God, there was an ad. Let me see if I could find it. And like I remember the order of the songs as they played. And it was
Mhm.
so funny because like it just brings you, oh, here it is. Let me see if I can bring Oh, here it is. Let me see if I could share this with you on my thing. Because like you remember like just being stuck in your on because you couldn't change the channel or you had to get up, right? So here we go. Like this was like the ad for like
Mhm.
the ad.
Hi, if you like soft rock music like we do, you'll love Session's new album called Secret Love.
It has 48 soft rock classics by the original artist.
Just listen.
Like you knew every song.
Every single one. We're gonna get so dinged for this for playing
I
all this
know,
music.
but whatever. But remember, like you knew every single song and
All of
how it
them.
came. The Cars for Kids commercial, like it didn't
Oh, yeah.
even matter. You know what I mean? It was so
Oscar
much fun.
Mayer, you
Yes, like
know,
all of the songs. It was so much fun. It just
all
was
the
fun.
McDonald's commercials, all of those things we just knew.
Yeah,
They're
radio
having to
stations,
change it
right,
up
Calvin?
now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
they
Paul
do.
from the Diamond Store. Exactly, Marcus. It was just so
Mhm.
much fun. It just was so much fun. But
Like a
yeah,
good neighbor.
State Farm is there. Like
Thank
it just was. Or like,
you.
bye Menon. Like it just
Full on demonetized Genie or Gene.
I know. I'll just take it out. They'll just make me take it out.
Yeah.
If you're
I'm gonna
watching
say
this
Genie
outlet,
or
there's a
Gene.
big gap
I'm gonna
right
say
there.
Gene. Yeah.
But
I'm a
yeah,
frito bandito.
yeah, I mean,
That's
it's
funny.
just those were the days, you know what I mean? Or like, remember the Quiznos commercials? Like they had a pepper bar. Like it's just so many
I remember
kids never know.
Bumblebee tuna. I love Bumblebee tuna. Remember that
I
one?
still the I
Before
still
your
sing
time?
the I still sing the
Big baby,
baby back rib.
ribs, baby,
Chili's baby
baby
back
back
rib.
ribs. See?
Barbecue
It
sauce.
worked. Now they're
Yeah,
trying to sneak
exactly.
into our heart with the rom-coms.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. So I would rather have, I mean, commercials are good, product placements are good. I'm not watching a 15-minute commercial. That's just not happening. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know why I have an alarm going off on my phone.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's happening at
Everyone
6.
knows the number for Empire Carpet. It's funny.
I don't know what's happening at 6. You know what that alarm is? That 6:30 alarm is when I was supposed to wake up this morning.
Oh, oops. That whole AM PM thing, that's a real bitch.
I totally didn't. I was like, I totally didn't wake up. That's so funny, guys. I totally didn't wake up this morning. It was like 6:50 this morning. And I was like,
why
why
I
am
set
I
an alarm.
sleeping so late? But it's actually didn't actually matter this morning
Mhm.
because there was nobody at school. So like my 8 o'clock time at work didn't actually matter because there's nobody at school. But I
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
why did my alarm go off? That's why. AM, PM. That's why. Oops. Exactly. I was wondering why my alarm didn't go off. That is why.
It's so funny that you
Absolutely.
didn't figure it out until 12 hours later.
It's like Oh, it's 6:30 p.m., not a.m. That's why. Exactly.
Oh, man.
I answered the question. All right, guys. Well, that is our show. Everybody try to stay sane. Okay. Everybody try and stay sane. I appreciate all of you guys being
Deep
here
collective breath.
every single day. What?
In for 5, out for 5.
Out for
Deep
5.
collective breath.
There are people that you can follow. Okay, I'm just going to say this, and I know this might be a little TMI. There are people that you follow on social media that can help you do things that are good for your body. So whether it's, hey, stop scrolling and do your breathing exercise. Okay, I follow. This is the women out there. There's a woman that I follow on social media so that every time I scroll, she makes me do my pelvic exercises. I
Oh,
love her, and it's so funny. She's like, stop. And she does it with you. So
yeah,
find
that's
that woman.
good. You need
It's
that.
awesome. So there's people that
Trust.
will do your meditation. There's people that'll do all sorts of things with you. So find those people on social media. I know, Heather, but you have to find them. You're scrolling anyway. Don't doom scroll all the time, right? And so we're going to stay sane together because we're going to have our cocktails. We're going to have our news. We're going to have our Thursday nights together. And I love it. I love having our Thursday nights together. All right, you guys,
I do
make
too.
sure you click your thumbs up, please, you guys. And if you can donate to the show, we're 100% crowdfunded. No, thank you. I'm going to take an out of it. Whatever works, baby. Whatever works. Whatever works. The NikkiMadoroShow.com. All the links are in the show notes on YouTube. We appreciate all the support. Thank you to Lynn for joining our Patreon. PayPal is the #1 way to support the show because it takes the least amount of a cut out of us. But whatever way you support the show, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Jean for supporting the $5 donation to the Super Chat.
Yay.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. And we love all the
Thank
comments
you.
we get after the show. We always read them. So if you are commenting after, don't worry. We always read those as well and appreciate all the donations. And if you want to have a delicious way to support the show, go to AuntieTabby's.com. She has a guava barbecue sauce and it's delicious. So go to AuntieTabby's.com, use the coupon code Nick Kim and get 10% off every single time you order. Nick Kim, NIK. KIM, 10% off every time you order. AuntieTabby's.com. All right, you guys, Thursday nights right here. Get your cocktails, get
5
mocktails,
p.m.
get your whatever you want to have. Just be here next Thursday. We love you all oh so very much. Take care of yourself and each other, and we love you. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.